Hello fellow pillar chasers, I'm bored and I want views and attention. So, I'm going to be making a Pillar Chase 2 monster tier list, but I don't want this video to be a stupid, corny, and predictable power tier list. I also don't want to talk about how overpowered MX and PCX are. So, I'm doing a never before seen fun tier list. Wait, what's that? Shit. Anyways, two things before we start so I don't get doxed. One, these are all my opinions. I'm not stating any of these as fact. Please don't kill me. 2. I'm in fact a mobile player, so my mobile opinions might be way different than your PC and console opinions. I'm ranking these monsters based on my personal experiences as them. All of my monsters are around the same general level area. I've received monster tips from friends and videos, so I do have slight knowledge of what I'm doing with each monster. Oh yeah, also, this video was made when the small update 2 came out. Just remember, this video won't always be up to date. I might make an updated tier list video in the future, but it depends if this video does well or not. So if you want more shit like this, fucking subscribe or something, I don't know. But enough of this stupid corny ass intro, let's get into the rankings, starting with... Vapor, the monster that vapes. Too much. When I first joined Pillar Chase, I thought that he was a boring ass monster to play as. But now that I've revisited him after almost half a year, holy shit, I realized that he's actually kinda fun. My small problem with Vapor is that his gameplay feels a little repetitive. It's almost always the same cycle. Skull summon, wait for it to hit someone, demonic shift, kill them. Even though half of his gameplay is that same cycle, there is some generally fun moments that can happen, like using demonic shift when someone is near your dark, foggy orb thing, and you fully take them by surprise. I don't know, I find surprising players fun. Also, with the recent buff, it's really fun bone-breaking players with one hit, and then seeing them turn into useless, helpless turtles, because they know if they stumble across me once, they're probably f***ed. Overall, vaping with Vapor can be fun, but only in some scenarios. Without those scenarios, I still find them a little fun, but also a little repetitive. So I'm putting the red Teletubby looking at into the kinda fun tier. Rosemary, the only female of the gang. Even though Rosemary is a starter, she was the last monster I played when I first started playing the game. Yeah. My friends and many other players have said multiple times that Rosemary is insufferable to play as, so I avoided her until the very end of my monster tryout. The day eventually came. I tried her out. They were pretty much right. Thankfully, the rework was coming out the next day, so after I played PCX, I tried her out again. She is more fun than Vapor. Messing around with people's stamina and vision brings me joy for some reason. I enjoy seeing a player with echolocation nearby and then going full demon on them. Some people complain about the vision being too dark. You can get used to it after a while. Overall, I think Rosemary is an underrated monster when it comes to fun. So, I'm putting her non-existent arms and eyes into the fun tier. Auroni, the one that everyone forgot existed. After playing him the first time, I thought he was pretty shit from a fun perspective. But when I came back to him for this video, I had acquired a little bit of new knowledge from my friend. I don't know what knowledge it was, but it made Auroni 3 times more fun. Using Shapeshift to mess around with players and making them not able to trust anyone is a fun thing that cannot be ignored. Pressuring players with it is also fun. The only problem is that Shapeshift is doing all the heavy lifting for Oni Vision. There's not really any fun in using it, but at least Shapeshift is the complete opposite. Overall, Auroni is fun to play as. Messing with Shapeshift is always a good time, but Oni Vision isn't. So, I'm putting Mr. Adult Fuwatti into the fun tier. Oh my days, that was the biggest voice crack I've ever heard in my life. Fogborn, the Minecraft mod thing. I forgot when I exactly played him first, but all I remember is having a lot of fun with him. After revisiting him, I'm happy to say that he feels the exact same. Thunder Warp is such a fun ability. Flying across the map to an unexpected player who knows that their death is inevitable is such a fun thing to do. Foggy Stare is a slightly less fun ability, but it's still really fun when you hit it. When someone looks at you, you gain all your stamina back in game, but because you feel like you're high when it happens, it also feels like you gain all your stamina back in real life, which I think we can all agree is pretty cool. Overall, I personally think Mr. Fogborn is a really fun monster to play as, and using both of his abilities gives you a dose of adrenaline in some way. So I'm putting the man in the fog into the really fun tier. EXE, the Sonic.exe from that one FNF mod. I don't remember at all what I thought of him when I first played him. After finally revisiting him for this video, I found him fun. I don't know how else I can describe his gameplay in terms of fun. Using thorny graves strategically and seeing that players actually stepped in them makes you feel really satisfied with yourself. Too slow can be pretty fun to use in combos or surprise attacking or just, catching up to them. But who the f does that? Overall, EXE is just a fun monster to play as. There's nothing else to say, so I'm putting Rick and Morty time into the fun tier.
Oh, hi!
Baldi, the annoying math teacher. I had so much fun with Baldi, man. At first, his different movement felt like he would be impossible to get any value out of, but after playing more rounds, you really get used to it. When you get used to his movement, it feels really satisfying landing your hits, especially if they're trying to juke you. Anti-hearing tape is really fun to use, especially if you're able to ambush someone in time, or if you sneak up on someone doing an objective. Math is also a really good way to corner or trap players, even though it doesn't exactly stun you. It's a really good way for players to have to stop moving, or at least multitask to solve everyone's favourite subject, math! Overall, Baldi is a really engaging monster to play as when you get used to his different movements, and he has abilities that make him even more engaging, so I'm putting the guy that's almost bald into the really fun tier.
It's time to have some fun with Uncle Samsonite.
Uncle Samsonite, the personification of the US government. You really need some knowledge to have fun with Uncle Samsonite. When I played as him, I found him quite fun in most scenarios. Beat laydown is fun when the range is actually logical. It's still fun to use, it's just annoying when the range makes no sense. Uncle's Wrath is really useful so you don't have to deal with the bullshit beat laydown range. The main traversal can be fun when you teleport on top of someone, but if you just keep on teleporting to the same spot over and over, you can get really pissed. But if you get a hold of how the abilities work and their range, you can have a lot of fun. Overall, Uncle Samsonite is fun to play as, but sometimes the abilities can be absolute bullshit and somehow not reach the player you're chasing. So I'm putting Jake Bowen's cursed but wonderful creation into the fun tier.
I always come back.
Springtrap, the one who always comes back. Before the rework, he was pretty f***ing boring. But after the rework, his fun was times by 5. Ventilation error feels about the same, it's just a fun ability to use to catch up to players. Phantom Step is a good way to find players, make them take more damage from you, and to gain some stamina back. The main fun thing about Springtrap is Axe Toss. This ability is so fun to use to snipe players with, and when you do, it does 75 damage, which feels very rewarding. Mechanical Slam is kind of hard to hit sometimes, but when you do hit it and you end up body slamming them, I don't know why, but I get some dopamine injected into me. Overall, Springtrap is a solid fun monster to play as. The first two abilities aren't all that fun, but the second two can really get you some dopamine into your system, especially with Axe Toss. So, I'm putting Dead Matthew Lillard into the fun tier. MX, one of the most annoying monsters to go against in the game. Me and my friend both hate MX, and we both hope that we didn't find him fun. I don't know what he felt about him, but I found him sort of fun. Hitting someone with your basic attack can feel a little rewarding, but not that much because of how unbalanced and clanky the hitbox is for it. Using Power Hop can be pretty boring to use. For me, there's not really any enjoyment out of it, but Charging the Mind was a lot more fun for me to use. Using it to damage people or just to catch up to someone is pretty fun, but it can ruin the fun completely when someone sidesteps you somehow. Overall, MX is kinda fun. Using his abilities can be fun, but only if you use them in a fun way. I can't believe I believed the people that said MX was the most fun monster in the game. Stop glazing him! So, I'm putting the annoying ass bitch into the kinda fun tier. Forest King, the princess, that's a guy. When I first played Forest King, I thought that he was pretty fun, but now that I've played him a bit more, I think he's generally a fun monster. Using his passive strategically to do more damage at the right time is fun. Sniping players with Glitching Blitz is pretty fun and gets the dopamine going. It's also a great way to XP grind. Before this video, we don't give a f***. Lurking Facade is a fun way to corner players or catch them by surprise, and even if they do escape, they're probably going to get bone broke from the Glitching Blitz. Overall, Forest King is a fun monster to play as. Using and landing his abilities can make you have some jolly good fun, so I'm putting Princess Peach into the fun tier. WYST, my golden child. WYST is the funnest monster in the game. I said it. His hitbox being the biggest in the game is so fun to mess with players trying to juke you. Like, damn. Using gobble bombs to snipe players or using them in a room full of players makes you feel like you're on a dopamine pill. Especially if you're in Frenzy and you like bomb a room or a corner with like 2+ players. Speaking of Frenzy, it is such a fun ability, man. After using it, you feel like you're on crack for the whole duration. Especially if you manage to get some kills while in it. I love WYST so much, in fact, I turned my avatar into a British version of him. I'm currently trying to get him to gold, and I will most likely make a video on hitting it. Also, I'm holding a petition to make Blade give WYST the skin. That's literally just WYST having a top hat on. Go tell Blade to do that or else he died. Overall, WYST is a really fun monster to play as. Both abilities give you an insane amount of dopamine when they're executed well. So, I'm putting Pacman.exe into the really fun tier. Niloticus, the Yummers guy. When I first played Mr. Godzilla, I sucked f***ing up with him. And I found him to be the most annoying and unfun monster in the game. Until my friend got Niloticus to gold, and he gave me tips to try and improve the fun and kill efficiency of my Nilo matches. And it worked. Nilo is now at least pretty fun. I still have issues with certain things when it comes to fun, but I actually find his abilities fun now. Just like EXE, Irradiated Mist is kinda fun to use strategically and to trap players in rooms. It's also satisfying to see everything work out for you. Godly Leap is a quite fun ability to use to get the upper hand in the chase or to take someone on an objective by surprise. It also feels slightly better landing it than EXE's too slow. Overall, Niloticus is a pretty fun monster to play as. His abilities can be quite fun, but there are some fun issues in his core gameplay for me. So I'm putting the man in the suit into the kinda fun tier. Vita Mimic, the thing from that one Analog Horror series. Mimic used to be really fun for me when I first started playing him, but after revisiting him for this video, I found him less fun than before. I don't know what changed about him, but he just feels a lot less fun than before. Animalistic Instinct is almost pointless now. Unless you have players cornered in a room, it's a pretty bad ability. Elder Ascension is almost the complete opposite for me. Using it to sneak up to players is quite fun for me. If it's a dark map and players aren't focusing with a flashlight, you're almost guaranteed to take players by surprise. My friend's also got him to gold, but he hasn't given me any f***ing tips. You know who you are. Give me those f***ing tips, buddy! Overall, Vita Mimic is fun, but he feels way less fun than before. One ability is fun, the other one is not. So I'm putting the living meat thing into the fun tier. Fuwatti, the little f***ing gremlin. Fuwatti was just like Niloticus. I sucked f***ing off him, and I found him to be an annoying and unfun monster. My friend gave me tips with him, and now he's actually fun. Oni Vision is pretty fun to use rather than using it as our Oni. It's funny seeing players panic or stop sprinting just to save stamina, but then end up dying either way. City Rush can be fun to use to bone break players, and it feels very satisfying and rewarding when it does. But it's also fun to use just from ability. Overall, Fuwatti is a fun little bean to play as. Both of his abilities are pretty fun to use and experience with, especially if you use them well. So I'm putting the Aga Waga Loga Gaga Waga Gaga Purple Demon Bean thing into the fun tier. Inkfell, the Ink Demon Ripoff. Probably the least fun monster in the game for me, but that doesn't make him not fun. He can be a little fun in certain scenarios, but fun is not his strong point. Devil's Portal is just a basic way to slow down players, and it's not really satisfying when someone steps in it, unless you're really close to them. Devil's Rage used to be fun if you had portals placed all over the map, but now it's just used to finish off players so you don't have to go through the jump scare animation. Devil's Dive is also almost useless because of the end lag at the end of the animation, and I can't really pull off the dive into a wall so the animation ends abruptly thing. Overall, I think Inkfell can be kinda fun, but only in certain scenarios. His only fun ability is Devil's Rage, because at least you can damage multiple people at once with it. So I'm putting Bendy into the meh tier.
Do you want to play with me?
PCX, the evil Sonic god of all. This hedgehog is really fun. Playing him strategically and trying to make sure you land all your abilities is really fun, and I think we all feel satisfied after doing so. Bound you is fun to use, and trying to make sure you're guaranteed to hit the person is quite nice. because if you don't, you know you just lost quite a lot of stamina. Final act isn't really fun in itself, but it's fun knowing that the person you put in there is either going to take a lot of damage or flat out die. Also, seeing your other half mess around is quite fun. Jump is just fun to use, man. When you land it, you feel pretty satisfied. Also, I don't know why, but I normally use jump to finish a player off. It doesn't do shit, but I still do it. Overall, PCX is really fun to play. Landing his abilities makes you feel very satisfied with yourself, which overall makes it more fun. So I'm putting Sonic.exe into the really fun tier. Zombie, the players that are infected. I just wanted to include them for a sort of bonus monster. And also, no one has ever put zombie in these sort of videos, like ever. So, I think that playing a zombie can be fun, but also can't. It depends on the players you're going against. Because if they're at least decent at the game, they can just easily run away from you. But if they're stupid, you know. Overall, zombie can be fun, but only in some rounds. So I'm putting the Lethal Company zombie into the meta tier. And that's it. Here's the final tier list. Take a screenshot if you want to send to your friends and say, oh my god, this guy has such bad opinions. I know Jeff is coming out soon, but I don't want to wait until he comes out, so I'm making this video now. If you want an updated version of this video in a few months' time, let me know in the comments. Check out my shorts if you want. If you like this video, make sure to like and subscribe, or however the f***ing saying goes. And goodbye to all of you watching. For now.